Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a model launched at SIHH 2017, 40 millimeters in white gold. This is the Lange Sohne 1815 annual calendar. So it's 40 millimeters in diameter in white gold by 10.3 millimeters thick. It is 46.7 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a standard 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, it wears well and comfortably. Narrow across the wrist, I could recommend it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, and it's easily flat enough with a sloped bezel to slide underneath a dress cuff. Take a look over the top one more time down the barrel. You get a good sense of the watch in proportion. Taking a look at the hardware and the software, you can see that the watch uses a large rectangular scale alligator leather strap in black with a little bit of bolstering to give it a defined center spline, and then you can see folded edges, a black monotone stitch, black calfskin on the bottom, and you'll note this is a Lange Sohne factory strap in outstanding condition with no crimping or gouging. Taking a quick look at the buckle, it's a standard Lange pin buckle, but that doesn't mean it's ordinary. It's a thoughtful piece, handsomely made, with some clever engineering solutions. For one, you can see the bridge is elevated over the stanchions. So the strap actually sits inside the buckle when it's on your wrist rather than stacking up underneath, it sits inside. There's also a retaining bar, so if like me you have a small wrist and you're going to use the smallest hole or even punch smaller holes, you know that a tightly strapped watch can get stuck on the wrist, so it's pinned on the pin. Well, with this little bar, the strap can never ride down to the base of the pin, so you always have a little bit of a head start in lifting the tightly strapped watch off your wrist. Clever. The case is simple and well-established Lange, though you can see the last owner didn't have a whole lot of fun with his purchase, as there's still packing stickers on the case flanks, lugs, and the bezel. Well, that's his loss and your gain, as you're going to get most of the new watch experience when you purchase this watch. The lugs are stepped out from the case band. You can see that the lugs are polished, the bezel is polished, the mid-case is satinated, and we have a few pusher adjusters for correcting the calendar. Though, truth be told, the annual calendar only needs to be corrected once a year during the jump from February to March, and if the watch should stop for a certain number of days, the pusher adjuster at 2 o'clock steps everything in sync. The day, the date, the moon phase, even the month. So if you fall 5 days behind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're right back up. The dial with Arabic numerals is an 1815 dial. So when you see stick indices, you have a Saxonia. When you see Roman numerals, you have a Richard Lange. And when you see the Arabic numerals, you know you're looking at the 1815 collection. The dial is also made of silver white galvanized solid sterling silver. The timepiece, of course, features hacking or stop seconds. We have a case made of white gold, a dial made of sterling silver, and Lange's moon phase complications are distinguished. First, by their duration. Most standard moon phases on watches that are not perpetual calendars need to be adjusted roughly every 2 3/4 years. Lange moon phases are always designed to have a 122-year adjustment interval. So while you need to adjust the watch one day per year, the moon phase is actually good to go for over a century. The other distinction that relates to Lange moon phase discs is that they're always made of solid gold, and this one is made of solid white gold. Flip it all over, you have caliber L051. Specifically, this is the 051.3, which means work started on the movement in 2005. It was the first movement started in 2005, and then the .3 means it is the third version of the L051. You can learn a lot about Lange calibers from the name of the movement. You can also see that it says FT on the case back. That is the signature of FTR, which is a Richemont company based out of Switzerland that makes precious metal cases, and that's why, for example, you have Swiss hallmarks on the case of a German watch. You take a quick look at the buckle, you can see that there's a B on the underside, and again, Swiss hallmarks, Brogioli. It is a company in the south of Switzerland, a rare watchmaking firm in Italian-speaking Switzerland. They make buckles and bracelets. Now, the case back, of course, includes a movement that is all Lange. They even make their own hairsprings. So the movement is made by Lange, and all the important parts that add the German soul are very much of Glashütte. This is all water resistant down to 30 meters, so dress watch. It's adjusted in 5 positions like a chronometer. It pivots on 26 jewels. It has the stop seconds function. It is an annual calendar. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, and with its single mainspring barrel, it has 3 days of power reserve. It's beautifully finished. You can see German silver, nickel, copper, zinc, a traditional material used for the bridges. The copper gives it that golden hue, black polish for the screws, as well as the cover of the escape wheel and the swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism. We also have fired blue screws. The watch includes both. You can see Glashütte stripes laid down by a abrasive wheel across the 3/4 style bridge, and then the edges of the bridges are mirrored. This is true mirrored hand-finished anglage. The balance cock is freehand engraved, no two exactly alike. There's engine turning or perlage on the base plate, and you could see that there's satination on the wheels, including a lovely solarization on the ratchet wheel. The click and click spring are black polished, and the watch features jewels set in golden chaton, a nod to the pocket watch era when, due to primitive manufacturing equipment, it was difficult to press a jewel directly into a bridge or plate. So a precision golden chaton would be created. The jewel would be pressed into that, and then that chaton setting would be inserted into the bridge and fixed in place by screws. It has no primary purpose today. It's just traditional and aesthetically pleasing, though I have heard that due to the small amount of give imparted by the gap between the bridge and the chaton, it does make movements a little bit more shock tolerant. All that, and it has a flat hairspring. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this East German manufactured high horology calendar.